checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. Emergency Management Associates, guys, that's who we are. That's what we all are. That's what we are and we shall be into the near future and into forever as well. Guys, we love each and every one of you. We really do. You guys mean the world to each one of us here. That's why we're here, because we care. We truly care about everybody. And we're always going to be here for all of you. Emergency Management Associates here. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome here, guys. We appreciate each one of you being here tonight with us. We don't have a lot of people here with us, but we're going to get started anyway. Hurricane Heather, we appreciate you being here. Hurricane Heather's been one of my dear sisters here for a very, very long time. Demon Catman, also one of our mods with Hurricane Heather. We appreciate the both of you. George Rashad just got in. Appreciate you very much, George. Thank you for being here. Guys, there's so much going on. George Rashad said to the families of the souls gone from the crash, prayers. That's where we're going right now. We're going to talk about the crash of the plane, the UPS plane in Louisville, Kentucky yesterday. This is coming from the news conference with the NTSB this morning. This is being covered by WHAS television. We're going to join them right now with you today.
Situation last night, about 5 o'clock, shortly thereafter, we were dispatched on a explosion Shortly thereafter, we were informed that it was a plane crash. And as the governor pointed out, just about 2 weeks ago, we did train with Louisville Fire along with the Airport Authority. This is something that we do annually. You hope that you never have to do this, but unfortunately it happened. So last night we had roughly 38 companies on scene. We had multiple agencies from across the state. We had, and please forgive me, those agencies if I do not name you, but Bardstown, Bullitt County, Lexington, all responded here. We worked with MetroSafe, Louisville Metro EMS, Louisville PD, and all the county fire departments across our county here. They were all represented. So we had roughly 30 ambulances here last night, and today we've downscaled tremendously. We currently have 4 engines, 4 trucks, 2 ambulances on scene. We have roughly 30 to 40 firefighters that are on scene. We have a SARS team. It's a search and rescue team that is represented by all the county departments along with Louisville Fire, and there's approximately 40 members here doing search and rescue through the debris zone. We are currently working with NTSB. We have some hot spots that are out there that we're trying to, some of them we're going to let burn. They're so insignificant right now, but as they flare up, we will extinguish them.
Hold on a second. I can't let this commercial go by.
There. So will we be out there? We'll be out there. We're planning to be there for at least a week or longer. We'll be out there as long as the NTSB needs us to be there. We are prepared for this. So I don't know how many victims we're actually looking for. That's one of the issues. And the debris zone is so large. So trying to get people back there. And with the debris zone, some of that debris is going to have to be moved and searched underneath. So it will take us quite a while.
What is the size of the debris zone?
I don't have a footage or a square mileage, but so Fern Valley Road, probably about 50 yards past Melton. I don't know if you know how long or how far that is. So, but it's a very large debris zone.
Can you give us any other details about that debris zone?
As far as that debris zone, there were a petroleum recycle business that was there that created some issues for us. The oil that was stored there came across the roadways, got into the waterways. LMSD's on scene taking care of that. The other businesses, there were there's for the fuselage, we've not seen much of it, to tell you the truth. There's wreckage that starts from almost Fern Valley Road and does go all the way down past Melton. So there are landing gear that's out there. You would not see a whole fuselage. With the intense fire that was there, most of things are gone. So including some of the vehicles, the semis, and the plane. Right here, we're so lucky, to be honest with you. This is not a residential area. Thank God that some of the employees had already left, being after 5 o'clock, so it could have been more catastrophic for us. Our firefighters are doing very well. So we did a shift change this morning, so we have fresh bodies on scene that are capable of handling this. So
Are you offering them any?
we do have refreshments, and many local businesses have offered to donate food and refreshments.
Well, what about
The mental issues, we've not had any at this point. Down the road, we will open that up. We have in-house counsel that comes in and visits with them. We have other programs should something arise and they need to speak to someone.
We know what the
Situation.
That's Okolona Fire Chief Mark Little. He was speaking at the airport along with the mayor at around noon today. He was asked the question, how could this have been worse? We were hearing that the governor said it last night. He referenced that, and that was his answer right there. He said, you know, this was not a residential area, and people had left work just maybe a few minutes before this plane took off at 5:15.
Planes are from us maybe 300-400 feet above. That's where they're flying, landing
And right now you're continuing to watch special WHAS 11 News coverage as we are beginning WHAS 11 News at 4 o'clock here. Thank you very much for being with us. We've been on the air with you all day long and brought you a live news conference from the NTS.
Of this horrible tragedy and for the cooperation and partnership between the state and local federal authorities. This is another example, as the governor just said, about how everyone is working so closely together. What we just saw at the crash site is devastating beyond words. The impact and intensity of the wreckage, of the charred wreckage, is unlike anything I've ever seen before, and certainly nothing that I ever want to see again. The vast size of the debris field where the plane crashed in flames is completely heartbreaking. And our thoughts and prayers are going to be with the victims' families for as long as it takes for them to begin the recovery process, which certainly is going to take a while. We know that they're struggling with profound loss right now with lots of questions. And we are incredibly thankful for the first responders that were on the scene within minutes, and that, as you just heard, are still on the scene, working incredibly hard to identify victims, to provide information, to help begin the recovery process. So thanks to everybody. It's another reminder of how fragile life is and how each of us should give an extra hug to people that we care about today, tonight, and every day and every night. We learned also earlier today that a good friend of Governor Beshear, Congressman McGarvey, and mine is the owner of one of the businesses that has been devastated by this crash. I spoke to Sean just a little bit ago. He believes he's lost some employees, some customers that were at his location. It's just another reflection of the small town nature of this large city, Louisville, that we all live in, and how closely we are connected. And that's why we ask that we hug one another, support one another, contribute to the Team Kentucky Emergency Relief Fund, do whatever you can to continue that help others, starting with the victims' families. That relief fund is Team KY Emergency Relief Fund.ky.gov. And similar to other relief funds that the governor has organized in the past, every dollar donated will go directly to those who have been impacted. We're joining together, the city, the entire state, anyone from around the nation or world that wants to contribute. So the investigation, as mentioned, is underway. We will continue to provide information as it's available. We believe now that we're in the recovery phase, these updates will become a little less frequent. They might be via other means, but we will continue to provide information to the entire community as soon as it's available. And we'll continue to be available for questions that the community has. Again, our Family Assistance Center will continue to be there as long as it's necessary to help the families. And we're so incredibly thankful for the outpouring of support that we've continued to see throughout this day, just as we always do anytime there's a tragedy. I'm now going to turn it over to Congressman McGarvey.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor, always for your steadfast leadership in any moment, for always bringing everyone in our Commonwealth together. We are grateful you are here and for marshaling all of the state's resources. Our Mayor, also, your leadership is incredible in this issue. Being on the ground nonstop, the three of us in communication, making sure federal, state, local resources are here You all have both been incredible leaders in this moment, and I think it shows who we are. Go home and hug your kids. Go home and hug your loved ones tonight. Go hug your neighbors. This hurts. Yesterday it was a Tuesday at 5:15 in the afternoon. And it is going to change people's lives in this community forever. The skies over Louisville looked apocalyptic last night. People scared all over our community. Debris falling, ash falling, people sheltering in place. My family, one of those families. But what the three of us just went and witnessed at the site, it's like a scene out of a Terminator movie. It is burned and mangled wreckage beyond anything I've ever seen. The smells, the sights. These are things that are not going to escape us when we close our eyes tonight. Go hug your loved ones. Check on your neighbors. People are hurting right now. But it's in these moments of pain when I do, like the governor said, see signs of hope. The people at Stooges who were there last night checking on their restaurant, which somehow went unharmed, opening up the bathrooms for people today. The outpouring of food. This is when you know you're in the South. I think our first responders have enough food right now that they're going to be well fed for a long time. The emergency personnel, the first responders, the Oklahoma Fire Department, who ran head first into a blaze, the destruction of which we saw today. I can't imagine what it was like, but it was described as hotter than hell and raining down oil. They ran head first to protect, to do everything they could to save what they could. That's the spirit we're going at this with. That's why you see the federal, the state, the local level working together. I know that I've been on the phone with NTSB nonstop. The mayor and I were there to greet them as they got off the plane today. They are here. They have a dedicated team. The full resources of the federal government are being brought to bear on this. And we are working with everyone, the entire delegation, especially our senators, Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul, Congressman Brett Guthrie. I've spoken recently with Congressman Andy Barr, asking what he can do as well. The state, the local groups are assisting the NTSB. They're in control of the investigation now. I think it's important to talk about some of the things they want highlighted. They are going to do their best to get us answers. As much as we're hurting right now, we want those answers quickly. They want to make sure, though, that they're both thorough, that they're right, and that they're showing respect for everyone involved. We will continue working with them and giving them everything they need. They are also asking people to contact the NTSB if you have debris that you believe is from an airplane in your yard. Contact them. You can email them at witness@ntsb.gov. Witness@ntsb.gov. As the governor said, as a special agent in charge of the Louisville office has mentioned, you could have FBI agents coming out to retrieve that evidence. Do not be alarmed. Just like our local and state agencies are working together, our federal agencies are working together. The FBI is working with the NTSB because just as the NTSB is they're experts in reconstructing these types of accidents, the FBI, they are experts in collecting evidence. That's what they are doing. We will continue to work together because there's so much work being done. And I want to call out some of the unseen work being done as well today. The site where this happened is unbelievable. But all around this place, people are working. Yes, it's our first responders. It's the people who are at the airport today. It's the pilots. It's the people at UPS. It's the people who are having to go back to work today and somehow carry on as if it's normal. Air aviation is a small community. As we all know, Louisville is a small community. If you don't know someone directly impacted by this, you know someone who does. And that's why it's important we lift each other up. We lift up the people who are doing the work on the ground. And I know you have the commitment from our incredible governor, our great mayor, myself, and all of the agencies involved that we will work together to get as many answers and get as much relief as we possibly can.
Yeah, that's fine. One thing we mentioned, we forgot, is JCPS is back in school tomorrow. So, for our firefighters and first responders, to render the area and general area safe, at least outside the crash area itself this quickly is pretty special, and everybody is going to benefit from it. We'll open it up to questions. The one thing that we will not do is speculate on the cause, even with videos that are out there. That's what the NTSB is here for, and I wouldn't describe what I'm willing to do as being patient, but I will be reasonable, understanding that they do need to gather that evidence, but there is a lot out there. And at least for me as governor, my expectation is this can't drag on for years. We're going to need to get some answers in a time frame to where if we need to take additional steps, we can do that. That's what's important to me. Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to give you the press conference, but they must have cut this out. They had allowed the investigator from the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board guy, was there, and they had recovered the black boxes. Okay, both the cockpit voice recorder and the computer recorder constitute the black box. That is going to show everyone when they get it back to the DC headquarters. They're going to delve into it. It's going to show exactly what happened with that left engine that burst into flames and eventually fell off the aircraft, causing that plane to go down. They're going to show all of that. They're going to show everything that happened. Now, they have people out on the airstrip right now. They're walking the airstrip. They're walking the airstrip side by side, literally, shoulder to shoulder. They're wanting to recover everything on that airstrip. The runway has to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb. That way, no other landing gear will become obstructed by any damage on the airfield. If the runway has to be redone, they'll redo it, but they have to get the debris off the runway first. Okay? They have to pick up every piece of that plane, every piece of landing gear, every piece of anything that's out on the airfield has to be recovered before they can ever use this runway again. That is all part of the investigation. The entire aircraft has to be accounted for. The entire aircraft has to be accounted for. And that's what they're going to be doing now through probably the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then they'll give a preliminary report after that. But right now, they are in the process of recovering the aircraft and everything about it. Okay, they're recovering the bodies of people who were injured and killed as well. There are 11 people that have died as a result of this aircraft going down. Last night, we were told there were at least 3 people on board the aircraft that passed away. They've now got an additional 6 people that have died. That still leaves approximately 4 other people that were not accounted for and that were missing at the time. Okay, so those people may have passed away as well. So far, they have identified 11 people that have passed away as a result of this accident. We'll get more information as the story goes through days and possibly even the weeks. We'll relay that information to all of you. But this is a preliminary information right now. At least 11 people have passed away as a result of this UPS plane going down yesterday afternoon about 5:15 in the afternoon in Louisville, Kentucky. Then on top of that, 11 people died. There's still other injuries that are out there. And as they find out more and more, they'll give that information to us. Again, the National Transportation Safety Board is on the scene, and they're going through the wreckage right now, recovering all the information that they need, all the evidence to piece together why this aircraft went down. That's primary protocol. Recovering bodies, recovering injured people, and then recovering parts of this wreckage. That's evidence telling us what happened. They're going to get that information relayed to us. Do I have any questions about that? Do I have any questions about what happened yesterday in Louisville, Kentucky? I was in contact with the Louisville, Kentucky Emergency Management Agency this morning, and then they did talk to me about 2:30 this afternoon. Laura Marie, thank you for being here. Yes, it is a very sad aircraft accident. Again, aircraft flight is probably one of the safer types of transportation that we have. We have more accidents on the ground in cars and vehicles than we've ever had in the air. This is unfortunately one of those that happened with an aircraft that got about 175, 185, 200 feet off the ground and then nosedived into the ground. Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Do we have any questions? I'm doing my best to get information for you about what happened here. And yes, it is a very sad situation. And as the mayor and the congressman said, if you don't personally know somebody that was affected by this accident, you know somebody that knows someone else that was. That's a fact. That's a fact. But the Emergency Management Agency there in Louisville is doing their best. I know the politicians. I met the mayor a long time ago at a disaster drill scene. He wasn't the mayor at the time, but I met him then. He's a good man. He's a very good man. Okay, if we don't have any other information, I'm going now to Speaker Johnson, who held a news conference this morning. I want to tell you what's going on with this country.
We're now on day 36, and it is a sad landmark in our history. This is the longest shutdown of any government in our history. And they've also made history in a number of ways, which we've recounted every day in our daily press conferences. Remember, this is the first time in the history of America that any party has had the audacity to close down the government over a totally clean, nonpartisan continuing resolution. I said yesterday, and I'm being honest, none of us imagined that we would be here at this moment. We couldn't have imagined that Democrats would be willing to force families to go hungry and workers to miss paychecks for 5 weeks on end, 50 days plus, and we never did imagine that they would be willing to use the pain of American families with such reckless disregard. But that is what we are seeing, and it is unconscionable. Despite the 15 opportunities they have now had to reopen the government, they have voted 15 times to keep it closed. That is the number that everyone has to pay attention to. All the Americans who are hurting because of this. They need to understand Republicans have voted 15 times to open your government, and the Democrats have voted 15 times to close it. They voted to deny paychecks to workers, to stop the flow of SNAP funds to hungry families, and all the rest. And still, somehow, they have the audacity to go on national television and gaslight the American people and try to pretend that somehow the Republican Party has some blame in this. It's the most outrageous example of political gaslighting that we have ever seen. And day after day, they have claimed, without any merit at all, this shutdown is somehow about health care. It's a blatant lie, and they know it. They tried to string together two totally unrelated issues: the expiration of the Obamacare COVID subsidies and the basic funding of the federal government. Those are two totally distinct things. Republicans have always been willing to have a conversation about the COVID-era subsidies and how to make Obamacare and health care more affordable. But we will not, and we should not do so as hostages in their political game.
Okay, and this is a hostage situation that the Democrat Party have created. This is very much a desperate plea for the Democrats to get all of the United States citizens to pay out of their pockets. I'm talking every citizen here in this country that has a job has to pay taxes. Those of us that pay taxes We pay out of our pocket very heavily. Many of us resent the taxes that we have to pay, but we pay heavy taxes to be able to support those people that are on aid to be able to continue living. I have no problem with that. But what I have a problem with is the Democrats force feeding the illegal aliens in our population. The Democrats force feeding the illegal aliens in our population. That's abhorrent. They have not contributed one darn thing to this country except taking money away from us and interfering with our livelihoods. Yes, they interfere with our livelihoods, and they also are causing law enforcement, law-breaking problems. And as a result, our law enforcement officers have also been killed. Our firefighters have also been killed. We've lost one paramedic as a result of gang violence from the illegal aliens. Yes, it was gang violence. Tren de Aragua illegal alien killed a paramedic. That's abhorrent. That happens. That's continued to happen over the last 4 years. It cannot continue any longer. Now, I read an article last night, early this morning, that said President Trump had already wrangled up over 500,000 illegal aliens and transported them back to their countries of origin. Over 500,000 illegal aliens have already been rounded up and transported back to their countries of origin. That's a spit in a bucket, because we know that there are over 22 million illegal aliens in our country today. That's also abhorrent. Now, if any of those illegal aliens are watching this program today, I'm going to advise you to leave. Leave immediately. You're not going to get anything else out of this government. You're not going to get anything out of this government. We're not going to allow it. The government is we the people. We the people. Yes, the politicians are representatives of us, but we have told them also that we're not going to give one more red cent at all to you that are here illegally. Not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. If you don't work for a living, if you're not here legally, get out. Get the cotton picking heck out of our country. You don't belong here. You never should have been here. Unfortunately, we had a law-breaking president that allowed it to happen. That's because he wanted to bring people into this country to vote for the Democrat Party. He brought people into this country to vote for the Democrat Party, and that's what happened last night in New York, New Jersey, Virginia, and also in California. Illegal aliens voting for our elections, voting for the representatives to represent us. That's also abhorrent. That should never have happened. But it's happening throughout this country. Texas has been the only state so far that has authored a bill and passed and signed a bill into law in Texas that will not allow illegal aliens to vote. Last night on some of the ballot initiatives, California was one of them that allows illegal aliens to vote. That's abhorrent. That's abhorrent. They're illegals. They have nothing to do with this country. They're here illegally, yet they're voting for things they know nothing about. They don't speak the language. This is abhorrent. What happened in California yesterday was a travesty. Your governor in California, Governor Gavin Newsom, and no, I will not give his last name as it should be because he's nothing but scum. His name is Newsom in my book. Newsom is just part of his name. Governor Newsom and his Democrat legislator cronies authored a bill, and they passed it last night, that allow redistricting throughout the state, allowing the Democrat Party to completely take over the state of California. The Democrat Party last night took over the state of California completely. As of last night, there will be no Republicans represented in Washington, D.C. from California. No Republicans. It's a completely Democrat state now. Complete Democrat state. That's terrible. That is very terrible, guys. Just because there's a Democrat governor and legislators in the state that have redrawn the state boundaries, voting boundaries, allowing the Democrats to completely rule the state. It's called gerrymandering. That's also illegal. Yet it was allowed in California last night, and now the entire state is not represented by one conservative at all. Over half the state is conservative. Over half the state is conservative. If you wanted to draw a boundary in the state, you could draw a boundary from the middle of the state, from north to south, and everything on the west side is Democratic. Everything on the western side is Democratic. However, the way they redrew the boundaries, now the entire state, north to south, east to west, is Democratic. Unreal. It should never happen. But that's what's happened now. It was done illegally. Okay? I don't give a flying rat's frosty keister how it happened. I really don't. But they did it illegally. They did it illegally, guys. They steal elections. That's what the Democrats do. They steal elections. And that's what happened last night in California. That's what happened over in New Jersey. That's what happened in New York. And that's what happened in Virginia. Everything north of Connecticut basically is Democratic. Everything north of Connecticut is Democratic, basically. Okay? The entire northern part of the United States along the coastline is run by the Democrat Party. That's why those states are failing. That's why, basically, New York has failed. New York has a radical Islamic, Arabic, Muslim, Marxist, socialist governor now, or mayor. Marxist, socialist governor. For the first time in history. For the first time in history, guys, it's bad. It's very bad. But what happened last night with the Democrat Party is literally abhorrent. Let me give you Chuck Schumer, senator from New York.
Do you believe that President Trump needs to get involved? Do you need him in the room to make a deal?
We've been asking for months for Trump to get involved, and he hasn't been. And the fault of this shutdown falls on his shoulders.
And that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is Democrats have voted repeatedly to keep the government shut down. Here's what the president said exactly about that. SNAP benefits, which increased by billions and billions of dollars, many-fold, during crooked Joe Biden's disaster term in office due to the fact they were haphazardly handed to anyone for the asking, as opposed to those just in need, which is the purpose of SNAP, will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up government, which they can easily do and not before. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't think voters got it. And if they didn't get it, that's the fault of the Republican message coming out of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, no, I think there's something to be said about that. I think by and large, Republicans are doing the best that they can on Capitol Hill with the cards that they've been dealt. But when you've got a party, as President Trump said, willing to do a kamikaze into the middle of the American electorate for some kind of an advantage, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, we're talking about a clean CR that was passed by Joe Biden, written by Joe Biden, and compatriots, and voted on as late as last March, approved by all of the Democrats. So this isn't something that's brand new. By the way, this was never about SNAP benefits or health insurance or anything else. I mean, that's what they say in order to try to buy a month of time. What this was about.
Okay? What it's about is the Democrats having control. The Democrats having control, guys. That's what this whole thing is about. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Let's go over to Senator Jeff Hawley, who met with Steve Bannon in the war room this morning. Let's watch this clip here. It's only a minute clip.
Are populists who actually believe in this country, who believe in the history of this country, who believe in our culture and our civilization? Are we going to have an answer, or are we just going to capitulate? Because we see what their answer is. Their answer is tear it all down and rebuild it on the foundation of secular atheistic communism. That's what he runs on. That's what he represents. And are we instead going to say, no, actually, we're going to get back to what we truly believe in this country? This is a working class Christian country. Are we going to build on that foundation? That's the challenge, Stephen. We cannot be timid right now in this moment. We have to come forward and say there is one way forward. It is to return to the principles of the United States of America. No more half measures, but that is the challenge in front of us, I think, big time.
That's it. That's the challenge in front of us, to turn this country back around. We are a Christian country. We are not a Marxist republic. We are not a Islamic republic. We are not Marxist. We are not Democrat necessarily, but we are a republic. We are a republic. We are a Christian, God-fearing republic. Yet, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats want to turn us into a Marxist communist society. And that's where we're headed. That's honestly where we're headed. This is very sad. This is very sad. The sad thing about that also is, ever since Biden was the president of the United States, Canada's also fallen into this same trap. Our wonderful brothers and sisters to the north have fallen into this same trap. Their legislators have taken them down the little yellow brick road to basically hate and destruction. That's where they're at. What happened to the trucker revolt? What happened to all those truckers that revolted a couple of years ago? Most of them ended up in jail. Those that didn't end up in jail had their bank accounts seized by the Canadian government. Yes, their bank accounts seized by the Canadian government because they were protesting against the Canadian government. The government didn't like it, so they seized their bank accounts. They couldn't pay their bills. They took the truckers and arrested them. Now, if you even breathe wrong in Canada, or you even decide to pray in public, or you say something out on the streets that the government doesn't like, they have their secret police. Yes, they have their secret police on the streets, and all of a sudden you're going to go to jail. Fact, I've seen it happen. And we have many people from Canada that watch this program. That's the other reason I'm talking about it. That's the reason I'm talking about it. This is bad. Our brothers and sisters in Canada are not United States citizens, but they are just like us. God-fearing people. And yet their government is turned into a communist state. And that's what's going to happen now in New York. That new mayor in New York is taking charge of the largest city in this country. He's going to turn it into an Islamic state. He's going to turn it into an Islamic state. I am going to be sure that this following statement I'm going to make, I know it's going to happen. It happened in Dearborn, Michigan, when the Islamic people took over Dearborn, Michigan. Very soon, I have a feeling he takes power in 58 days. Soon after that, they're going to be hearing the call to prayer. announced over huge loudspeakers on the tops and sides of buildings, early in the morning going into late at night. Islamic call to prayer. They're going to have Islamic police on the streets. They're going to take over the New York Police Department just like they did in Dearborn, Michigan. They already have those Islamic police on the streets right now. They're going to take over the police departments, guys. Mr. Mamdani has said that he doesn't like the police departments and he's going to defund the police. He's going to defund the fire department. He doesn't like it. People are going to die. Mamdani doesn't care. Now, on top of that, guess who else is coming back in the picture? Who is behind Biden's being president? Barack Hussein Obama, an illegal president. An illegal president. Our laws, our Constitution says that if you were not born here in this country, you can't be president. He falsified a birth certificate to say he's president. His mother, his own wife, admitted that he was born in Kenya. Yeah. He should never have been president. Yet he was. Now, Barack Hussein Obama has now come out in support of Mamdani. He's given Mamdani his firm support to help him transform New York. Just like Barack Hussein Obama transformed the United States government into an Islamic state. Barack Hussein Obama, when he was president, said this was not a Christian country. Yet it is. Now, Barack Hussein Obama and Mamdani are going to take over New York. And they're going to make it another Dearborn, Michigan. The largest city in this country is going to be transformed into Dearborn, Michigan all over again. I thought my bottom dollar that New Yorkers wouldn't go for this. There are more people in New York than Islamic people. There are more people in New York than illegal people. But I have a feeling that the Democrats in New York and the illegal aliens and the Islamic people came out of nowhere and voted for Mamdani. We know for a fact that there are illegal terrorist activities going on here in the United States. Sleeper cells all over this country. Those sleeper cells are probably how Mamdani was elected. Now we have the issue with another Islamic state in the largest city in this country. Mark my word, it's going to happen. And when it happens, you guys can say, Ron said that, because I did. Hurricane Heather says that election was also stolen. I agree. It was absolutely stolen. Again, the Islamic population, the terrorist cells, the sleeper cells in this country, and the illegal aliens got him elected. Yeah, because they allowed illegal aliens to vote in New York. That's the truth. Rich Quake says hostile takeover. Absolutely. It absolutely is. You watch what's going to happen. Some news people over at Fox News also said this was going to happen. I'm going to repeat that. Large businesses are going to move out of New York and head elsewhere. Families that are God-fearing families are also going to leave New York. They're not going to be allowed or allow themselves to be under Islamic control. And then Mamdani is going to turn around and forbid New Yorkers from leaving New York. Yeah, because he's a mayor. He does not want to lose that money. It's incredible what's going to happen now. Watch what does happen. Nothing good is going to come out of this coming into the Islamic State. Nothing good is going to result from it. I promise you, nothing good is going to result from it at all. Incredible. Incredible. And yes, Heather, we do have our mods in Canada as well. We appreciate our moderators from Canada helping support this channel. And I've got your back. I have your back. I have people that have come on this channel and been with me as co-hosts of this channel that have talked about things going on in Canada. And I have no problem with that. We're going to continue that coming in very soon. We're going to do that again very soon. Now, I do want to talk about earthquakes. I do want to talk about earthquakes, guys. Okay? I'm going to bring up the USGS map here. I'm going to take down our banner because it's in the way here. I'm going to take down a webcam for just a minute. Okay? This is the USGS map, guys. This is focused right now on the southeast side of the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia. Why? Because over a month ago, we had a 9.4 earthquake hit here. USGS at the time said it was an 8.8. It was a 9.4 earthquake. I gave you the details when it happened over a month ago. Yesterday at approximately 8:29 p.m. while we were on the air last night, we had a 6.0 very strong earthquake hit off the coast of Kamchatka Peninsula. All the earthquakes that you see here off the coast of Kamchatka Peninsula are aftershocks. They are aftershocks of the earthquake that hit here over a month ago. Yes, we've had aftershocks upwards of 7.4, 7.8 earthquakes. Aftershocks. We're going to continue seeing these kinds of aftershocks for months and even years. Months and even years. We've seen it in Puerto Rico that had an 8.0 and 8.4 earthquake back in 2019. We're still seeing aftershocks in southwestern Puerto Rico from those two major earthquakes. That's what's going to happen here. I promise you that's what's going to happen here. Yesterday evening, 6.0 earthquake. This is a 4.2. This happened today. 4.2 moderate earthquake here. This earthquake is a 4.3. This also happened today. This is a 5.7 earthquake. This 5.7 earthquake happened yesterday evening. Yesterday evening. Approximately 16 minutes after the 6.0. These are not the only earthquakes that hit here. There are other earthquakes, but the USGS is out of business. The USBS has been shut down by the Democrat Party, but they're still posting information that's not correct. They never do or never have posted all correct information ever. They haven't done it in 20, maybe 25 years. Fact. I've proven that time and time again. Let's go south here. Okay? Right now, this is over in the Mariana Trench in the Bonin Islands of Japan. The Bonin Islands are unoccupied, uninhabited islands here in Japan. This is a 4.8 moderate earthquake. 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Further south in the southern part of the Mariana Trench here, this is a 4.8 moderate earthquake here. Okay? This earthquake also happened late last night, about 10:03 p.m. 4.8 earthquake. This happens to be 2 miles. 2 miles off of Guam here. Right here. Look at this. This hit Guam. A 4.8 earthquake here. This hit just northwest of our Navy airfield. NAS Guam. Naval Air Station Guam. 4.8 moderate earthquake here. This was 68 kilometers deep. 68 miles deep. This was still a fairly shallow earthquake, but this was felt. Moderate earthquakes do moderate damage. They knock pictures and things off of walls. They knock bookcases and knickknacks off of shelves. They rattle plates in the cupboards or anything laying on tables. They also can move furniture. Moderate earthquakes can make furniture creep along the floor line. Okay? That's what moderate earthquakes do. They create moderate damage. That's what happened here on Guam last night. Okay? This is the first earthquake we've seen on Guam in some time. Okay? It's in the Southern Mariana Trench area, but it hit Guam this time. Yesterday, south of Guam out here, we had a 5.3 earthquake here. Today, this moderate 4.8 hit here in Guam. Okay? Let's go over here into Indonesia. Okay? Again, Modesi, Indonesia. 4.7 moderate earthquake here. Okay? 4.7 moderate earthquake here in the Molucca Sea. We go over here to the west. This happened near Gorontalo, Indonesia. Near Gorontalo, Indonesia. 40 miles south of Gorontalo, Indonesia. This happened to be a 5.9 earthquake. A 5.9 earthquake that happened yesterday. We talked about this. Okay? Now, this being far enough offshore, I don't think anybody over here in Gorontalo, Indonesia felt this quake. I believe the ocean waters out here absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. At least most of it. Most of it. Okay? But look here. These are the only 3 earthquakes that USGS is showing. 43 earthquakes here in Indonesia, and they show us 3. Guys, that's appalling. The preeminent seismic agency of the world, literally. Yes, it belongs in the United States, but it's the preeminent seismic agency of the world, not reporting correctly on seismic activity. Fact. Fact. Now we have a brand new earthquake over here in Afghanistan. This is also a 4.2 moderate earthquake near Jalalabad, Indonesia. Or I'm not Indonesia, Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Okay? Jalalabad, Afghanistan is where a 6.1 earthquake hit here just several months ago. Literally annihilating this village here and the surrounding villages around Jalalabad. It devastated these villages. It literally crumbled their homes. Yes, their homes were made out of mud brick. They're made out of mud brick, and it completely collapsed the homes. Some of the people live in caves here in the Afghani mountains. Some of the caves collapsed. Probably close to 3,000 or more people have died as a result of that earthquake. Every time we get an earthquake like this, there's more damage. Again, moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. This is a brand new earthquake just happened. Just barely happened. To the north here. This also is in Tajikistan, another 4.3 earthquake here. 6.2 miles deep, very shallow quake. Very shallow quake. People felt this here. Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, for that matter, as well as Kyrgyzstan to the north, feel these earthquakes. They're not modern cities and modern states like we have here. When it happens, all of a sudden there's death and destruction. That's because the people that live here are not very earthquake savvy. They're not very earthquake savvy. They also don't have a lot of money. They basically live in abject poverty, literally in abject poverty here. But look over all of Europe. We have 2 earthquakes over there in the Middle East, effectively the Middle East. This earthquake here, Greece, guys, northeastern Greece. Another 4.2 earthquake here. 4.2 earthquake. There are 22 earthquakes here in Greece. They show us 1. This is not the only 4.2 or small 3.0, 3.9 or minor 2.0, 2.9 earthquake here, or even tremors. There's a bunch of them here. Why is USGS not talking about it? Sad day. Sad day. They don't want to talk about it. Over here in Italy, look at this. They're not showing any earthquakes here. I am appalled by that. There are nearly 50 earthquakes here in Italy. Nearly 50 earthquakes here in Italy, guys, and they're not showing one. Not a single one. There are several earthquakes down here in the toe of the boot of Italy. Italy-Sicily area here. These are minor tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors being 1.0 to 1.9, earthquakes, minor earthquakes being 2.0, 2.9. Going up here, we have several earthquakes here in southern Italy. We have more earthquakes right here. More earthquakes right here. Why? Because we have an active volcano. Vesuvius volcano is acting up. We have tremors, we have minor earthquakes, we have small and moderate earthquakes hitting around Vesuvius volcano. To the south and west, why? What's going on here? This is a very urbanized area. All around this Vesuvius volcano is a very urbanized area. People live all over here, literally all around the volcano. They feel these earthquakes. Ever since Vesuvius volcano erupted, it didn't erupt, but when it first started showing signs of an impending eruption, people started living in their cars because they were very scared that if they lived in their houses, they wouldn't make it out of their houses in time. Many people still live in their cars here because they are afraid of earthquakes here. They're afraid of earthquakes. Yes, there is one 5.1 earthquake around here. There hasn't been another 5.1 ever since. However, they have had moderate 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes. Those earthquakes have happened. Right now, they're getting more earthquakes up here to the north of Vesuvius. We're here near Naples, northeast of Naples. Earthquakes all over here. 2.2, 2.4, 2.7, 2.9, and 3.0 small earthquakes. All over this area. Why is the agency not showing them? Your guess is almost as good as mine. They don't want to admit what's going on. I have a feeling, it's just a gut feeling. I have a feeling that at some point this volcano is going to erupt and they're not going to even report it. Yeah, that's happened before. It would not surprise me if it happens again. Up here north central Italy, we have earthquakes here. Recently, about a week ago, just about a week and a half ago, we had a 5.1 earthquake here. That's the second 5.0 to 5.1 earthquake that we've had here in the last year. We're continue to see earthquakes here, swarms of earthquakes hit here every day. Swarms of new earthquakes hit here every day. Swarms of earthquakes mean that a larger earthquake is coming. When we see swarms of earthquakes, that only means that larger earthquakes are coming. It's happening here. Up here in northern Italy, we're still getting some tremors and minor earthquakes here. Over here in the northeast side of Italy here, the resort area of Italy here. And over here on the other side, the south side of Italy right here. Yes, this is northern Italy here, but it's the south resort side of Italy here. Minor tremors and minor earthquakes hit. Over here in the Alps, earthquakes are always hitting here. Most of the earthquakes hitting here are tremors 1.0 to 1.9. Yes, we're also getting some 2.0, 2.1 earthquakes here in the Alps. Going over here into Germany, Switzerland, minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.1, 2.3 earthquakes here, all over this area, as well as tremors. Going over here into France, yes, we're getting tremors here in France and minor 2.0, 2.1, and 2.3 earthquakes hitting here in France. Over here to the north, near the English Channel here, more earthquakes hitting here. 2.1, 2.3 earthquakes hitting here. We've had more earthquakes here in recent days than we have not had earthquakes. We're seeing more and more minor earthquakes happening in this area here. Okay. England, Wales, and Scotland have also been getting tremors and minor 2.0 earthquakes over in Wales and Scotland. So far in England itself, I have not seen any minor earthquakes or tremors. However, up here in the northern part of the British Kingdom, it's happening. It's happening. We go over here to Norway and Sweden. We have minor tremors and we have minor earthquakes hitting here. Mostly down here in southern Norway, right around this area here. And over here in southeastern Sweden, or southwestern Sweden here. Southwestern Sweden here. They're hitting here. Okay. Over here in Iceland here. Earthquakes hitting here as well. Right here. Bardabunga volcanoes here. This is the ice sheet that completely covers the volcano here. We've had some 2.0s, we've had some 3.0s, and we've had even tremors here over on the western side of Bardabunga volcano here. That's what's happening here. Okay. We are still seeing some earthquakes happening here, down here in the Reykjanes Peninsula. Earthquakes hitting here in the Reykjanes Peninsula. That's because we have magma on the move from, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to zoom in down here on the southern part of the Reykjanes Peninsula. This area right here, we had a volcano here 2 years ago. It first erupted here. Since that point in time, the magma has moved north under the ground. There have been frequent fissure eruptions all over the Reykjanes Peninsula. They've continued to move north. They've continued to move north. Over here, northwest of Greenavik. This town of Greenavik had a population of about 3,000 people. They've evacuated most of Greenavik off and on for over the last year and a half because of all the earthquakes that have hit here. They have evacuated most of the population here in Greenavik. However, because they have a harbor here, the reason they have Greenavik here is because they have a harbor. They send out fishing boats every day out here to go out to sea during the day, and they bring their catches back here to these piers here. They offload fresh fish here that are processed and go all over the island of Greenland, or not Greenland, go all over the island of Iceland. Okay, their main diet here is mostly fish. Okay, now for a time, earlier this year and even late last year, the scientists said that there was seismic energy that was popping here in the harbor of Greenvik. That might have been. They were scared of a possible volcanic eruption here in the harbor. That would have been catastrophic. That would have been very catastrophic, because if that volcano had erupted in the cold water here in Greenvik, it would have been a catastrophic eruption. Very cold ice water literally hitting molten lava erupting from the volcano. This whole area would have been devastated. So far, it has not happened. Over here on the western side of Greenvik here, on the western side of Greenvik here, they had a problem here last year. They had a fissure eruption northeast of Greenvik here. 2 fissure eruptions happened here within a matter of days of each other. One of the fissure eruptions erupted closer to Greenvik. That fissure eruption had lava that poured out of the volcanic eruption, and it actually burned down 4 homes here in Greenvik. Since that point in time, officials here in Iceland have built up a 85-foot wall around Greenvik. An 85-foot wall around Greenvik, and also to the north up here. Let's move up north here. Right up here. Right up here. We have a different situation here. Okay? We have a geothermal plant here. Okay? The geothermal plant here takes hot water from the volcano, from the upper magma chambers of the volcano, takes that water, produces heat, and sends it out to all people here on this island. They send the hot water to all places throughout the island to heat homes and to heat businesses, and also for people to bathe in. That's what they do here. But on the same token, what else happens? There's also a spa here. There's a spa. That spa is there because there is a volcano down there. It heats up the water at the spa. Thousands of people every day go over here to this spa. It's a moneymaker for the people in Iceland. Several times during volcanic eruptions, fissure eruptions out here, long-range fissures here, okay? Sometimes these fissures have been as long as 13 to 14 kilometers long. That's a long distance. When the fissures start dying down, the volcanic eruption starts slowing down. All of a sudden, then the lava forms craters and cones. When that happens, all of a sudden the volcano starts slowing down and stops. But meantime, the craters of lava still spill out over the landscape. They had to build a huge wall around the spa and also the Svartsengi power plant to prevent the power plant from being devastated by the hot molten lava that poured out of the volcano. Now, we're still having earthquakes north of there. We're still seeing earthquakes north of there. What is going on? They're saying that the earthquakes are caused by magma that's moved north through the earth here. Magma is still trying to find a way to further erupt. They fully expect that to happen. They fully expect that to happen. Okay? But they're still not showing earthquakes here in Iceland either. Occasionally they'll show us, but most of the time they don't show us anything. Sad state of affairs here. Okay? Over here in North America, we have tremors and minor earthquakes over here in northeastern Canada and southeastern Canada. We have earthquakes happening along the coastline of the east coast of North America. Why? Why is it happening? Because over here in the mid-Atlantic, there's a fault. Over here in the mid-Atlantic, there's a fault, guys. What's going on? Let me bring up my webcam. I'll show you. The Mid-Atlantic fault is going like this. It's expanding. The Mid-Atlantic fault is expanding. It's pushing Europe and Africa in an easterly direction. While at the same time, it's also pushing Greenland, Canada, the United States, and northern Mexico in a southwesterly direction. That's causing earthquakes here in the United States on the East Coast. That's causing earthquakes here in the United States East Coast area. And I will show you those. Today is Wednesday. I'm not going to show you today, but I may show you some of the earthquakes tomorrow. But I'm definitely going to show you what's going on in the Pacific Northwest tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the East Coast. We're also going to talk about earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest here in regards to the Cascadia megathrust earthquake fault. Today here in the Cascadia region, on the southeastern side of the Blanco fracture zone. See this earthquake fault here? Runs from the northwest to the southeast, right off the Oregon coast. This is a 4.0 moderate earthquake. 4.0 moderate earthquake. This is 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. We've had moderate earthquakes. We've had small 3.0, 3.5, 3.7 earthquakes happen here. In the same location, we've also had 5.0, 5.2, and 5.3 earthquakes happen here very recently. This is just one more earthquake in the Cascadia subduction zone region. In the Cascadia subduction zone region. This should be a heads up to everybody. Should be a heads up to everybody along the west coast of the United States and Canada. The Cascadia megathrust earthquake is incoming. The Cascadia megathrust earthquake, a 9.0 to a 10.0 magnitude earthquake, is going to happen. It's a matter of time. It's literally when, we don't know, but it's going to happen. It will happen. The entire west coast of Canada and the United States is going to be affected. Yeah, all the way down to northern Mexico. Let's talk about Southern California real quick. We'll go over here in Northern California, then we'll go into Southern California, and I want to specifically show you earthquakes that are happening in the Southern California. Okay? Over here in the San Francisco Bay Area, just west of San Francisco Bay, near the opening to the ocean here to San Francisco Bay. This, folks, is another 2.4 minor earthquake here. Muir Beach, right off the coast on the San Andreas Fault. Why is Muir Beach important? Why is Muir Beach important? Over here on the coastline, Muir Beach does exist. Muir Beach does exist. Guys, there are redwood trees in the Muir Forest here. There are redwood trees that have been here for thousands of years. These trees are upwards of 500 feet high. I've been here. I've walked the trails through the Muir Woods. It's a tourist area. I've been here. Now, I'd love to ask this question, because many times people have asked this question for people from the USGS, from the National Forest Service. That's become a joke. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around, Does it still make noise? Yes, it does. It's just that if nobody's around, nobody hears it. Okay? Fact. Just a joke, but it's fact. Let's go further south here. Also over here west of the San Francisco Bay Area. Right here. This is Pacifica, California. Okay? This is the 1.8 tremor here. Nobody feels these tremors here. Nobody feels these tremors. Just like this earthquake off of San Francisco Bay here. 2.4 minor earthquake. Nobody feels minor earthquakes. Nobody can feel a minor earthquake. It's too small. You're not going to feel an earthquake unless it's 3.0 or larger. 3.0, 3.9 are small earthquakes. This earthquake over here off of Muir Beach, minor earthquake. This one over here in Pacifica, minor tremor. 1.8 tremor here in Pacifica. I've been there. I've been there. I've walked over here on the golf course. I've walked on the golf course here. Okay? This is 1.8, and this is a 1.2 tremor. Over here in Pacifica on the golf course. Nobody felt these quakes. They're tremors. Over here on the east side of San Francisco Bay. Right there. Alameda, California. Alameda is a large city here. There was a U.S. Naval Air Station there. It might still be there, but the boats, the ships that used to be here have now moved to Bremerton, Washington. This is a 1.7 tremor here in Alameda, California. Again, nobody felt this. It's on the Hayward Fault. On the Hayward Fault here. You can see the fault line here. Hayward Fault. To the east, you can see another fault line. That is the Calaveras Fault. The Calaveras Fault and the Hayward Fault move south here. They run down south here, south and east Monterey Bay. What's dangerous about that? We have three of the most dangerous fault lines in the world here. Three of the most dangerous earthquake fault lines in the world. The Calaveras, the Hayward, and the San Andreas. What happens when we have a 6.5, 7.0 earthquake on the San Andreas? Look out. It will activate all the other ancillary faults in the area. It will activate the other ancillary faults in the area, including the Hayward, the Calaveras, and other minor ancillary faults here. This earthquake here, 1.3 tremor near Gilroy, California. We have tremors here in Gilroy almost every day. 1.3 tremor here. Also just east of the San Andreas. This earthquake here is near Aromas, California, on the San Andreas Fault. 1.6 tremor. Further south here, San Juan Bautista, California. This is a 3.1 small earthquake. 3.1 small earthquake. Let's go south. A brand new earthquake hit here just recently. This is the Pinnacles. By recently, I mean within the last 40 minutes. This is a 1.7 tremor here in the Pinnacles, also on the San Andreas Fault, and we also have oil and gas drilling going on here at the Pinnacles. That's one of the reasons we get earthquakes here. Now, over here, all along the coastline here, we have some minor earthquakes, but again, USGS is not talking about it. They're not talking about it. Over here, Fairfield, California, on the San Andreas Fault. What's the problem here? What's the problem here? Fairfield, California is earthquake capital of the world. Fairfield is an earthquake capital of the world. Incredible. More earthquakes hit here every day than hit here all over the world. More earthquakes happen in Parkfield than anywhere else in the world. Yet, USGS rarely even talks about it. Sad day. Sad day. Okay? We don't see any earthquakes until we get down here near Los Angeles, off the coastline. This is a 2.5 minor earthquake. 3 miles southwest of Santa Barbara Island. Santa Barbara Island, guys. 2.5 minor earthquake. This is out in the ocean here. Nobody felt this earthquake at all. Plus, it's too small to feel. But it happened here nonetheless. Let's go over here to Los Angeles. We're talking specifically about earthquakes in Southern California and specifically about Los Angeles, San Diego, and the Imperial Valley, Southern California. This is in Glendora, California, guys. 1.8 tremor. This is a 2.0 in Laverne, California. 2.0 earthquake here in Laverne, California. Interesting, because there are more earthquakes here than they're talking about. There are earthquakes all over LA County that they're not even showing here. Literally. I'm going to show you evidence of those earthquakes in just a few minutes. Stay with me here. This is Loma Linda, California. Interesting, because I'm going to show you a seismogram in just a minute. Documentation that earthquakes are happening here. This is a 2.4 earthquake here. Do you think that this is the only one? No, it's not. No, it's not. Tremors and earthquakes are hitting all over this area, but the USGS is not talking about it. Not talking about it at all. Let's go out here. Okay? Calamasa. Calamasa, California is an RV resort. I've been there. I've been there. We have earthquakes here in Moreno Valley. I've been there a lot as well. Incredible. Earthquakes hitting Yucaipa. They're not showing those either. Okay? Corona. Earthquakes happen here in Corona. Why are they not showing these? Inquiring minds want to know. Ontario, California. Why are they not showing these? We should know about it, shouldn't we? I think so. I know so. Chino Hills. We have tremors and minor earthquakes hitting Chino, California every day. Riverside. We see nothing but tremors here in Riverside. Tremors, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 tremors happening all day long, 7 days a week. Riverside, California. Now, where is the San Andreas Fault in regards to Riverside, San Bernardino area? The San Andreas Fault is just east of San Bernardino. You can see the fault line right there. When we have that 6.5, 7.5 earthquake, it's going to annihilate these communities. It's going to annihilate these communities. Let's look at Fontana here. I'm going to show you a seismogram from Fontana tonight showing good-sized earthquakes. Tremors and small earthquakes here. Tremors, minor and small earthquakes here in Fontana. Yet they're not showing any here. Why not? Why not? Inquiring minds won't know. Let's go down here. Anytime you see a red dot, that is an earthquake that just happened. Winchester, California. Winchester, California is just north of the San Diego County border. This is Orange County. This is the 1.6 tremor here in Winchester, California. And another one right here, also in Winchester, this is a 1.0 tremor here. 1.0 tremor here in Winchester, California. Yeah. Why are they not showing us all these earthquakes? There are. They're only showing that what they want us to know about. That's all. That's all. South there, Anza, California. Anza, California is part of northeast San Diego County. The Anza Borrego Desert State Park. This is a 0.6 microquake. Further south here, also in the Anza Borrego Desert State Park, is another 0.6 tremor. Microquake, I should say. Warner Springs, also in northeast San Diego County. It's a semi-forested area. They have a bread-making company out here that makes pies, they make cakes, and they make bread 24/7 out here. When you drive down the highway out here, I think it's Highway 76, you drive down the highway here, you drive by this factory, whether it's closed or open, you can smell bread on the roadway. As you drive down the highway, you smell bread. Some people roll down the windows when they get anywhere near this factory. Warner Springs, California. Okay, 0.8 microquake. Further south here, Borrego Springs. Again, in the Anza Borrego Desert State Park. 0.8 microquake. Over here, south and west. South and west here. This is in Julian, California. We've talked a great deal about Julian, California in the past. We had a 5.1 earthquake here last year. A 5.1 large earthquake here last year, Julian, California. Julian, California is a cowboy town, an old western town. It's got bed and breakfast there. It's got shops. It's got restaurants there in Julian. Great place to eat. You can go there this weekend. You can go there in the evening. Go there for dinner and have a fresh slice of apple pie from apples harvested from trees there in Julian. Yeah. Harvested in trees here in Julian. Hot apple cider as well. It's great. I've been there a lot. Going further south and east. This is 10 miles east Julian, 1.2 tremor. This is also 14 miles east-southeast of Julian, another 1.3 tremor here. Here, Ocotillo Wells. This is a 1.1 tremor here. I'm going to go over here in a few minutes. I'm going to show you a cytogram from Ocotillo Park here. Ocotillo Community Park. Yes, it's a desert park out here, a very rustic park, but they have a seismograph out here. I'm going to show you traffic from magma that's coming from San Diego County, coming from off the coast, offshore from San Diego County, underground, the same ground that we walk on, magma channels feeding magma to a volcano out here. Magma feeding magma over here to a volcano, right here at the Salton Sea. Down here on the southern edge of the Salton Sea, we have the Salton Butte volcano, an active volcano that's capable of a catastrophic eruption here, right underneath the water of the Salton Sea, the Salton Butte volcano. They're hardly showing any activity here. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you an awful lot of activity here in the Imperial Valley here. Over here in Calipatria here, they're showing a 1.4 tremor here. 1.4 tremor. What's going on? Let's zoom in here. I want to show you what's happening here. Okay? Guys, what's going on? Right here. Just west of that earthquake. Just west of that earthquake. What's going on here? Over here in the Imperial Valley, we have thermal plants here. We have geothermal plants that harvest steam from the upper magma chambers of the Salton Butte volcano to make electricity or to produce electricity for the Imperial County Electrical District. Yeah. There are geothermal plants all over the area. For example, this one here. They harvest steam from the volcano to power turbines here to generate electricity for Imperial Gas and Electric. They used to have only 3 geothermal plants. Now I understand they have about 9 or 10 geothermal plants all over the Imperial Valley. Literally all over the Imperial Valley. This is another plant right here. And we have earthquakes all over this area. Because everywhere where they've drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano, they've had a hole. They have a hole. What happens with that hole? When seismic energy comes off the Pacific Ocean, when seismic energy comes over here from the Pacific Ocean, it hits those holes in the earth that have been either drilled in or they already have a fault there, hits those drill points, and all of a sudden it fractures the rock inside the drill points, causing earth movement. An earthquake. An earthquake. That's what's happening over here in the Imperial Valley. Here's another one here. This is Brawley, California. This is a 1.8 earthquake here near Brawley, California. 4 miles south of Brawley, California. You see Brawley, California right there. 1.8 tremor here. Let's go back to San Diego County really quick. Good old San Diego County. Right here near the border. Isn't this interesting? Chula Vista, California. Just north of the U.S.-Mexican border. This is a 1.3 tremor here in Chula Vista. Interesting. Interesting. Because it does not show up on a seismogram. There are no seismograms that are reporting this earthquake here. Yet this earthquake happened at 5:15 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, which was actually at 2:15 Eastern Time, 2:15 Pacific Time here in California. 1.3 tremor here in Chula Vista, California. Unreal. Earthquakes that are happening all over Southern California, literally. But you don't hear about it, do you? Because they don't want us to know what's going on. There's going to be a major earthquake here in Southern California. I promise you. I promise you it's due anytime. Literally anytime. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. What they're not telling us is they're not showing us anything because they don't want us to know what's happening. They endeavor to not tell us what is going on when they darn well know that there's going to be a major earthquake and they don't want anybody to know what's going on. They don't want to tell us. Plain and simple. Okay? Plain and simple. Sonic Popo said, guess I need to read the post before hitting send, maybe. Let's go up here. He says, Tremors spell checker got me again. Yeah, I have the same problem. Let's go offshore of Los Angeles. Okay? This is Channel Island. Channel Island is just south of Santa Barbara Island, where we show you that earthquake out in the channel. Look at these earthquakes. They're not telling us about over here at Channel Island. All kinds of tremors here. Literally all kinds of tremors, and I do not think we have any minor earthquakes here on Channel Island. However, we have had earthquakes here on Channel Island before. We've had tremors, we've had minor earthquakes, and we had small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes as little as maybe 2 months ago. Small earthquakes have hit here on Channel Island before. They're just not showing right now. Let's keep going. Okay, let's go out to the desert in Lancaster, California. There's an air base out here. There's a air traffic control center, and there happens to be a side graph out here. Glory be. What happened late this morning? Literally all day long since midnight last night, we've had tremors. These tremors are ongoing. The top line here is 5 a.m. But all we've had here are tremors here literally all day long. Later this morning, the blue line on the left side would be 11:30. 11:30 this morning. We come out here, we're here at 11:43 this morning. 2.0 tremor, or 2.0 minor earthquake here. Lancaster, California. Fancy that. Guess what that is? On the San Andreas Fault, ladies and gentlemen. The San Andreas Fault. Let's keep going here. Let's go further down the San Andreas Fault to Ranch Mirage. Look at what's going on here. No, we don't have any 2.0 earthquakes, but we have a ton of minor tremors here. We have a ton of minor tremors, and we also have, I believe, that we have some microquakes here as well earlier this morning. Tremors, microquakes are smaller than tremors here. When you hardly have any activity, that is a microquake. When you start seeing activity, it's a 1.0, 1.2, 1.3 tremor here. I believe we had some 1.3s, even 1.4 tremors here today, Lancaster, California. Let's go out in the desert to Victorville, California. Good old Victorville. Look here. Victorville sits directly on the San Andreas Fault. Nothing but tremors here. Yes, we've had some 2.0, 2.4, 2.5, and 3.0 small earthquakes here in Victorville even earlier this year, sitting directly on the San Andreas Fault. Let's go out to, let's go over to Los Angeles, Anaheim, California. Those of you that are familiar with Southern California, you either have friends there, you have relatives there, or maybe you've lived there. I've been here. Anaheim, California is where Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm are. Great amusement parks. Guess what we have here? We have a bunch of tremors. We also have some minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. During each and every day here, 24/7, these earthquakes are happening. We have even had as many as 3.0 earthquakes here at Anaheim, California. Anaheim, California, 3.0 small earthquakes, 3.2, 3.5 small earthquakes here in Anaheim. They happen all the time. Here today, all we see are minor earthquakes, 2.0 to 2.5, maybe 2.7 earthquakes here in Anaheim, California. That's happening. These earthquakes are occurring on a daily basis. Okay, Fontana. I just spoke about Fontana, which is just west of the San Andreas Fault. What's happening here? Look at this, guys. Here in Fontana, yes, we're having some minor earthquakes. Yes, we were having tremors. They didn't show them on the earthquake map. Why not? There are a bunch of them. Now, I also believe we've had some small 3.0 earthquakes here as well. That's frequently what happens here in Fontana, California. Yeah, a fact. Minor and small earthquakes hitting here in Fontana. And they don't tell us about it. They don't want to tell us about it. They don't want to shake people up. Let's go to the south coast of Los Angeles over Laguna Bell. Laguna Niguel. Laguna Bell, Laguna Niguel. Basically the same place. Here we're not seeing nothing but tremors, and that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. There are $1 million homes here along the coast of Laguna Niguel. I've been there. Very beautiful homes. Beautiful beaches here. But we have tremors going on here. So far, I've never seen a 3.0 earthquake hit here in Laguna Niguel yet. I believe it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen. That could happen very soon. Let's continue this conversation here. Let's go over to Long Beach. Look what's happening in Long Beach. This is a seismogram they call light hype. Light hype seismogram is showing us activity in Long Beach, California. Look what's happening here. Every day it's the same thing. Every day it's the same thing. We have tremors and we have minor earthquakes hitting here in Long Beach every day. Yes, we've had 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes hit here in Long Beach already this year, many times here in Long Beach. Small and I'm talking small 3.0, 3.5s, maybe a 3.6 or 3.7 small earthquake have hit here in Long Beach. It happens. And yes, people feel those. Do you think USGS is going to show this? No, they're not. They didn't show it on the USGS map. Again, I ask, why not? They're hitting. Why are they not showing them? Why are they not showing them? That's Long Beach. Let's take a look at downtown Los Angeles at the Civic Center downtown. Look at this. Nothing but tremors down here in the basement of the huge LA County City building. Tremors. But look at the bottom here. This seismic activity happened right before I downloaded the seismogram. We've had some small earthquakes hit here in Los Angeles today. We've had some small earthquakes here in Los Angeles today. We may have had more earthquakes since then. Okay? Down here on this green line. This green line is 12:45 on the left-hand side. Over here, this is 12:53 p.m. this afternoon. 3.0 earthquake this afternoon. Possibly a 3.1. Did they put it on the map? No, they have not announced it either. But the ground moved here in downtown Los Angeles. You also can see some minor earthquakes hitting here as well. The smaller horizontal lines show tremor activity. But we're also seeing some minor 2.0, 2.6, 2.7, and this 3.0 earthquake that hit here in downtown Los Angeles today. I want to show you that. That's important. Okay? That's very important. How about north of Los Angeles? North of Los Angeles. Actually, before we show you north Los Angeles, let's go over to Mariloma. Mariloma is just northeast, excuse me, not northeast, northwest of Fontana. I just got through showing you a seismogram from Fontana. Here in Mariloma, Loma Linda area, we have nothing but tremors here. We have had minor 2.0, 2.9. We've had 3.0 earthquakes hit here and Mira Loma and Loma Linda area. Unreal. It's happening. It's continuing to happen. But again, the United States Agency, the seismic agency that is by far supposed to be the best seismic seismic agency in the world, it's not reporting earthquakes. Not reporting earthquakes. That's a violation of law. Non-reporting of data is a violation of law. Okay, how do I know that? I was a federal law enforcement officer. If I have failed to report earthquakes when I was a cop, they would arrest me and throw me in jail. It's a violation of federal law. It's a felony. Let's go north of Los Angeles to a town called Moore Park. Moore Park is a city, about 70,000 people in Los Angeles. Look at the earthquakes hitting here. Yes, we have our share of minor tremors as well. But here, on this red line, the second red line from the top, okay, just after 6:15 this morning, this earthquake was actually about 6:06, or not 6:06, 6:21 this morning. 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 earthquake here in Moore Park, California. 6:23 this morning. Unreal. Did they tell us about it? No, they did not. Did they tell us anything about the 2.0, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes? No, they did not. They did not say one word about it. We have at least two other 3.0 earthquakes here. Can you see them? Can you see them, ladies and gentlemen? How about on the green line after 8 a.m.? Go over at 8 a.m. on the left-hand side. The green line on the left would be 8:45. 8:45. Over here, this would be 8:50 this morning. 8:50 a.m. this morning. Another 3.2 earthquake. 3.2 earthquake here, north of Los Angeles in Moore Park, California. One more. On this black line after 11 a.m. You see 11 a.m. over on the left-hand side? Guess what? 11:07 a.m. this morning. 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake, guys. Did they report it? No, they did not. We have 2.0s, we have 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes here, and they're not reported at all. None of them. They're not talking about a single one of these earthquakes at all. That's not all, folks. There's more. A lot more. That was Moore Park. How about Pardee? Pardee, California. Also north of Los Angeles. Look at all these. Yes, we have tremors and we have minor earthquakes here. 2.0, 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes here. All day long. And they're continuing to happen right now. Pardee, California. Let's go to Rinaldi. All these locations that I'm showing you have had 3.0 earthquakes here before, earlier this year. Rinaldi. On this red line after 7:15 this morning. The red line on the left would be 7:15. This is about 7:18 this morning. 2.5 earthquake. 2.5 minor earthquake. Yes, I believe we've also had a couple 2.0 earthquakes here, but mostly just tremors. Mostly just tremors here in Rinaldi, California. Also north of Los Angeles. Unreal. Rio Hondo. Good old Rio Hondo. What's going on here? Yes, we're seeing some tremors here, but what are these wavy lines here? What are these wavy lines here? The seismograph here in Rio Hondo is picking up vibrations from magma. Vibrations from magma down beneath the surface. Magma coming off the Pacific Ocean, underneath the Pacific Ocean. Magma coming over here to the North American continent, the North American craton. Where's it headed? To a volcano. To a volcano, guys. This is magma, seismic energy being reported here, tremor activity. But we're seeing magma waves here. We're seeing magma waves that are generated here. Let's go over to Walnut La Puente. I've been waiting to show you Walnut La Puente all day long. This is where the volcano is. This is over in eastern Los Angeles, eastern LA County. Look what we're seeing here. Two cities, guys, two cities. Walnut and the city of La Puente, sitting at the top of a volcano. Sitting at the top of a volcano. How'd that happen? How'd that even happen? Guys, these are 3.0, 3.5, maybe even 4.0 earthquakes out here in eastern LA. Yeah. Notice how they've topped off the bottom and the top of these seismic signatures. Look how they've removed these seismic signatures here. They cut off the bottom and the top of them so we don't know exactly how strong they are. These are 3.5 to 4.0 earthquakes happening all day long here in the cities of Walnut and La Puente. That's because there's a volcano down beneath it. There is a volcano down beneath it. Let me bring up our webcam here again. And bring up a webcam. The cities of Walnut and La Puente sit at the top of the volcano. Yes, there probably was a crater or a cone here at one time. Over time, the crater and cone was worn down by seismic action and water. This area at one time was covered by water, ocean water. The wave action has eroded the cone or the crater here, and now it's flat land. Flat land. The last time the Walnut La Puente volcano erupted was thousands of years ago. But the magma is pounding away at the magma, or not the magma, the lava rock at the top of the volcano. There is a plug at the top of the volcano. The magma is coming from underneath, pounding away at that plug. That's what these earthquakes are. That's what these earthquakes are. Magma coming and pounding away at the plug of the volcano. At some point in time, that plug is going to crack. And steam is already being released from the volcano. There are cracks in that plug. Steam in the form of, let me go back. 67% of all magma is water. 67% of all magma is water, guys. What happens? When there are cracks inside the plug of the volcano, the steam makes its way and works its way through these cracks. There's a there's a science lesson here, physics lesson here. When hot steam goes through these cracks, what happens? It widens these holes in the cracks, isn't it? Widens these holes. When that happens, more and more steam is being released. What is in the steam? Sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide. Yes, we have had reports from people in this area saying they're still smelling a sulfuric smell. Eggs. They're smelling a sulfur-like smell from eggs. It's not eggs. It's magma down beneath the town. The magma is releasing steam, which is filtering up from the ground, and it's going into the homes. It's going into the population area around Walnut and La Puente. At some point in time, the magma hammering away at that ground is going to pop that volcano. Then there's going to be devastation throughout this area because there's homes all over the area, multi-million-dollar homes all over the area. Used to be maybe hundreds of thousands, now it's million-dollar homes all over the Walnut La Puente area. Very ritzy area, guys. Very ritzy area. Yet there's a volcano there. And we're just seeing our earthquakes caused by the magma down inside the volcano. That's what's happening here. That's not all, folks. There's more. There's actually a lot more. Okay? Now, while I'm talking about it, let's go down to San Diego, south end of San Diego. Just north of San Diego City itself, there's a place called Mission Valley. Mission Valley has a huge shopping center, an outdoor mall there. Dillard's is there. And there's a couple other very expensive department stores there in Mission Valley. There are small shops there as well, great shops, great stores there. Department stores, there are novelist stores there, all kinds of stores there in Mission Valley. North of the shopping center, there is a San Diego Gas and Electric building. At the San Diego Gas and Electric building, there's a seismograph in the building. The seismograph is recording earthquakes in San Diego City. All we're seeing here at San Diego Gas and Electric seismograph here are tremors. Lots and lots of tremors here. Yes, in the past, this year, we've seen some small earthquakes. We've seen minor earthquakes here as well. 2.0, 3.0, 3.2 earthquakes here in San Diego City. There are other seismographs all over San Diego City, but they've shut those seismographs off. I no longer have access to those seismographs, and I'm going to continue to find those. I'm going to continue to find those and bring that information to you. There are minor earthquakes and there are tremors all over San Diego County. Let's go east into the Imperial Valley. There are plenty of earthquakes in the Imperial Valley here. Plenty of earthquakes here. Let's go over to El Centro. Good old El Centro. One of our own EMA family members lives in El Centro. His name's Juanito. He and his family have been living in El Centro for a very long time. They sent us a Christmas present last year. Here in El Centro, they've been having 3.0 earthquakes here. Look at all the 3.0 earthquakes. There are over 25 3.0 earthquakes here. Over 25 3.0 large earthquakes here. 3.0, 3.2, 3.5 earthquakes. Look at the curvy lines linking some of these earthquakes. What are these curvy lines, guys? The curvy lines are signs of magma. The curvy lines are signs of magma here, okay? Yes, some of these earthquakes are due to magma down beneath the surface. Not all of them, but some of them. 3.0 earthquakes here, El Centro, California. It's unnerving. We never saw a 3.0 large earthquake in El Centro before now. But now it's been consistent almost all year long so far. All year long. Before that, rarely did we ever see a 2.0, 3.5 earthquake here. Just didn't happen. Yes, we've seen earthquakes here before when we had a big seismic event. Yes, we've had 5.0s, we've had 5.2, and we've had 5.5 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley. It's happened. It's going to happen very soon, again. But here in the Imperial Valley, in the town of El Centro, it's recording 3.03.5 earthquakes here. It's also recording minor tremors and minor earthquakes here as well. Minor tremors 1.0, 1.9. Minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9. You see it here. Let's keep going. Now, I'm going to go east to, let's see, where do I want to go here? I want to go east to Calipatria now. Calipatria. Calipatria is on the southeast side of the Salton Sea. The southeast side of the Salton Sea. Now, over here in Calipatria, we've seen the San Andreas Fault go down the eastern side of the Salton Sea. 3/4 of the way down the Salton Sea, we have a town called Bombay Beach. At Bombay Beach, they used to have a geothermal spa. A lot of people used to go to get and soak in water heated by the volcano. I'm going to show you the seismogram at Bombay Beach in just a minute. This is Calipatria. Calipatria is where I showed you that one geothermal facility there generating electricity. Calipatria, guys, usually has anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes a day, just in Calipatria alone. That's because the San Andreas Fault comes out from underneath the Salton Sea at Calipatria. Look at all the earthquakes here. The thicker earthquakes you see here in the red colors are generated by the computer. The colors are generated by the computer to get the attention of the seismologist. And this seismogram here was analyzed and given the okay to be shown to the public. Yes, we're having 2.5, we're having 3.5 earthquakes here in Calipatria as well. Again, look closely at these thicker earthquakes here. Notice they've been cut off at the top and the bottom. That means the earthquakes were stronger than they want to show us here. At the very top, we have an earthquake up on the right top side. Thicker earthquake. That means that the earthquake sequence, the earthquake's time of lapse of shaking was probably 10 or 15 seconds in this case. Now we're only seeing the bottom part of this earthquake signature. The top was cut off because the top of it was actually on the other seismogram. They're not showing us the other seismogram though. We only have this one. This is probably a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake. They happen here at Calipatria all the time. Down here after 2 p.m., we see 1400 hours on the left-hand side. 1400 hours is 2 p.m. yesterday. Looking at this here, this is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. But again, the top has been cut off and the bottom has been cut off as well. That means this earthquake is probably a 3.0 earthquake. We see frequent signatures just like that. Prior to that earthquake, we have tremors. And after that earthquake, we have more tremors. 3.0 earthquake. Jumping down here to 1800 hours. 1800 hours is yesterday at after 6 p.m. on the left-hand side. We come over here to 618. We have another earthquake that lasts maybe 5 or 6, 7 seconds. 6 or 7 seconds. We see a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake, probably another 2.9, 3.0. Yeah. Look at all these earthquakes here. There are over 30 earthquakes right here that we're showing you here. Let's scroll up here. Look at all these earthquakes. Okay. Now up at the top here, look at the top here. After 6:30, we don't see much of anything. Yes, we see some minor tremors and minor earthquakes here. Granted. But we don't see a whole lot of them, do we? We see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 seismic events. Some of those tremors. And 2.0, 2.8 earthquakes here. But what happens after the seismologist comes back here and starts his day this morning? What happened? After 5 a.m. this morning, all of a sudden this seismogram goes crazy. Why does that happen? They turn down the seismograph when they leave work. They turn down the seismograph when they leave work so it doesn't report as many earthquakes. So the earthquakes it does report that we see here are large earthquakes that make it through the electronic turndown. That's how they operate here. They turn down the seismograph machine so it doesn't report all the earthquakes. The earthquakes it makes it through are actually large earthquakes. Large earthquakes. The majority of the earthquakes happen here after 5 a.m. this morning. After 5 a.m. this morning. Look at all these earthquakes. There's probably close to 100 earthquakes here on this seismogram today. Over 100 earthquakes on the seismogram today. And yes, here at Calipatria, we've had several 3.0 earthquakes already here today. Several 3.0 earthquakes here today. That's typical of what we've seen here at Calipatria before. But they turn down the seismograph reporting device so they don't have to show us all the earthquakes. They don't want to be responsible for anything they don't want to have to explain. That's why they do this. Okay? That's Calipatria. Let me go over to Bombay Beach now. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, crud. Okay, folks, give me just a second, okay? I want to show you what's going on here at Bombay Beach. Hold on a second. I can pull up this information just a second. Give me a sec. Give me have a shake here. It blows my mind that I didn't put or didn't bring in. Maybe I did, maybe they didn't let me put it out here, but I'm going to show it to you now. I've got it now, guys. I'm going to show you this at Bombay Beach. This is going to blow your mind. This will blow your mind, I guarantee you. Let's go to Bombay Beach. This is great. Look at this, guys. Good old Bombay Beach. Bombay Beach is right on the edge of the San Andreas Fault. Look what's happening here with earthquakes. Earthquakes galore. The top of this seismogram here is at 0400 hours this morning. 4 a.m. in the morning on the black line on the left-hand side. So we come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4:05 this morning. Just after 4:04, we have some minor tremors. Between 4:04 and 4:05, we have 2.6, 2.7, and 3.0 earthquakes happening. Look at that. This morning, after 4 a.m. After 5:15 on the red line here. This will be 5:25 this morning. 3.0 earthquakes. Again, the top and the bottom of this earthquake sequence have been cut off. By this itself, it's a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. But because it's cut off, they do this often so they don't have to admit how strong it was. This is at least a 3.0 earthquake. At least. Another one after 6 a.m. Over here on the right-hand side, this will be 6:13. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Again, this sequence was cut off at the top and the bottom. This may have been a 3.0 earthquake as well. Definitely after 7:45. You see 700 over on the left-hand side? Down to the green line at 7:45. We come over here to the right, 7:54 this morning. Actually, yeah, 7:54 this morning. The top and the bottom of this sequence was cut off, so this was a much larger earthquake. This is at least a 3.0 earthquake, so this is probably 3.5 to 4.0 earthquake here on the San Andreas Fault. Look at these other earthquakes here as well. After 8:30 on the blue line here in the center. Tremors and minor earthquakes there, and before it's over, we have 3.0 earthquake happening. After 10:15 this morning, actually, we go back before that. On the black line over here on the right, okay, we have three black lines here at the bottom. The third black line up from the bottom is actually 10:14 a.m. this morning, going towards 10:15. The seismic energy starts there at 10:14, just before 10:14, just tremors. Right before it hits 10:15, the seismic energy develops up. 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, and suddenly, just after 10:15, we have 3.0, 3.5 earthquake here. Again, they've cut off the bottom and the top of this seismic sequence. This is at least a 3.0 earthquake, as it shows right here. But because they cut off the top and the bottom of this sequence, this is a much larger earthquake. 3.5 earthquake at least, possibly larger. The same thing with these other earthquakes here. This happens every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Bombay Beach, guys, all day long. The San Andreas Fault is alive and well. It's alive and well, guys. Now, let's drop down to the town of Imperial. Just north of El Centro is a town called Imperial, California. I've been there. Look here at Imperial. Early this morning. After 6:15 this morning, over on the left-hand side, go over to the right, we have tremors. The same thing with the blue line here on the left-hand side would be 6:30. Over here on the right, now we have some earthquakes happening here. It develops from tremors to minor earthquakes here after 6:30. Then on the green line after that, 6:45 this morning on the left-hand side. We go over 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later. Okay, 6:49 this morning. Just after 6:49 this morning, we have 3.0 earthquakes. But again, they've cut the top and they cut the bottom of the sequence off. They were large earthquakes. Notice how long these sequences lasted. Let's count the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 minutes. 4.5 minutes from the start of the seismic event, tremors, until after the 3.0 earthquakes, and the tremors ended over on the right-hand side. Notice these longer primary waves. Notice these longer primary waves over on the right-hand side of the sequence. What's off to the right of that? It's called a secondary wave. The secondary wave lasts 2.5 minutes. That means these 3.0 earthquakes that we see here are actually 3.5, maybe larger. Anytime we have a secondary wave that lasts over 2 minutes, that means earthquakes, the primary waves were actually at least 3.5 to 4.0 earthquakes. Fact. The longer the seismic wave, the longer the secondary wave, the larger the earthquakes are. That's what's going down here in the town of Imperial. They got woken up this morning by an earthquake. They got woken up by a 2.5 minute long earthquake here. Good old Imperial. I showed you what happened over in El Centro. We won't go there right now. But it's not over. Not over. Okay? I want to go over the northeast side of the Salton Sea. It's called North Shore. There's a small community, maybe 1,000 people over the North Shore of Salton Sea. We had tremors here. This is where the San Andreas Fault comes down here into the Imperial Valley and starts its way moving down the east side of the Salton Sea. Over here, all we see are tremors here, long duration tremors. Long duration tremors, just like we have longer duration earthquakes. These are long duration tremors. The San Andreas Fault is alive and well. Okay, one more here. One more. I want to show you Holtville. I showed you Brawley on the map that had minor earthquakes. This is Holtville here. Down here in the southeast side of the Imperial Valley, there's a town called Holtville. Maybe 5,000 or 10,000 people live here in Holtville. In Holtville, there is a museum. There's a museum. It's called the Salton Sea Desert Research Station. There in that research station, there's a seismograph. Here in the seismograph, it's reporting earthquakes. The first seismic activity happened here after 7 a.m. this morning on the black line on the right-hand side. It started happening about 7:12, 7:13 this morning, and it continued over here until after 7:15 on the left-hand side on the red line. Here in this red line, we're having 3.0 plus earthquake, probably at least 3.5 earthquake here in Holtville, California. Holtville got woken up by an earthquake this morning. 7 a.m. this morning, 3.0 earthquake. But not to be outdone. On the green line below that, on the left-hand side, 7:56 this morning, 2.7, 2.8. After a minute and a half, it develops into a 3.0 plus earthquake. Again, the seismic activity was cut off at the top and the bottom of this sequence. Excuse me, sorry. This was at least a 3.5 earthquake here. 3.5 earthquake lasts just over a minute. It had a buildup of seismic energy from tremors to minor earthquakes. The same thing after the primary wave stopped happening. Secondary wave kicked in. The secondary wave lasted almost 2 full minutes. That means this was at least a 3.5, maybe 3.7 earthquake here. That's what happened here in the town of Holtville. Look at the other seismic activity here. Down here at the bottom, on the left-hand side, on the black line. On the left-hand side, this is 1 p.m. We have tremors. We go over here to approximately just before 1:11 p.m. this afternoon. Just before 1:11, 1:10 p.m. this afternoon. 3.0, 3.1 earthquake here. 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. Prior to that, minor earthquakes and tremors. And after that, more minor earthquakes and tremors. These happen all day long here, guys. These happen all day long. Yes, we're having minor and small earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley. But what I believe is really happening is we are gearing up for at least a 5.0 to 7.0 earthquake here on the Imperial Fault, on the San Andreas Fault. When I speak of the San Andreas Fault here in the Imperial Valley, they call it the Imperial Fault once it enters the Imperial Valley to the north. Same difference, same earthquake fault. That's what's happening here. Guys, I believe we're gearing up for a major earthquake. Be aware of that. All of you who live here in Southern California, especially in the Imperial Valley, especially those that live in northeastern San Diego County, especially those who live in Los Angeles, all over Los Angeles. I should say all over San Diego County as well. You guys are preparing, or should be preparing, for a very strong, very large earthquake. It's overdue. The San Andreas Fault is building up. It's locked and loaded. I've shown you the evidence of this ongoing for over 6.5 years. 6.5 years. We've seen numerous 5.0 large earthquakes here. Now we are expecting at least a 6.5 to 7.0 earthquake here in the Imperial Valley, in Los Angeles. It's going to happen. It's literally when. We don't know when, but it's literally when. It's going to happen. I promise you it's going to happen. Do we have any questions? Sergeant Johnson's here in the chat. He says, pray for your neighbors. Pray for your neighbors. I agree. Pray for your neighbors. It's a matter of time. Pray for Juanito and his family. There's another man who lives west or just north of the town of Imperial in a town called Westmoreland, California. His wife died about 3 years ago. He and his wife were avid watchers of this channel. Westmoreland's going to be hit with this earthquake as well. They're going to be hit with this earthquake. Promise. Los Angeles, the LA County, all of San Diego County, and all of the Imperial County are going to be affected by this earthquake that's going to hit. Get prepared. Get prepared. Sergeant Johnson says, don't forget the city missions. I agree. The missions that the Catholic Church has put up here back in the 1800s. Yeah. Missions. I've been to them many times. I've been to those missions many times throughout my life. They're beautiful buildings. Some of them built by my ancestors. A great-great-grandfather who was a sergeant in the Army that pulled into San Diego County, San Diego City, back in the 1800s, late 1800s. Sergeant John, relative of mine. Incredible. Some of your relatives may also have been part of that battalion that was sent in to fight off the Mexican army. Not a shot was fired. Not one shot was fired. The U.S. battalion stopped the commodities from coming in to feed the army. The Mexican army gave up, went back into Mexico without a shot being fired. Incredible. Incredible. I want to thank all our mods here. Our moderators are doing a fantastic job here. I love each and every one of you guys. Don't ever forget it. Demon Catman has been showing our addresses here. They're also scrolling across the bottom of your screen right there. Scrolling across the bottom of your screen is showing our PayPal addresses where you can send us donations to our channel to keep the channel active here. Yes, it takes money to keep this channel on the air. You see our Gmail address, our email address. You send us email there and tell us comments, give us comments and suggestions what you want to see on this program. We'd love to see that as well. Or even negative comments. We want to see everything. Okay? You see our regular address, our postal address, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. We'd love to see cards and letters again. It's been a very long time since we got a card or letter. The last card came in September this year. Before that, it was another month or so before that. We used to get cards and letters all the time. We still love to see those again. Inside those cards and letters, you can also see send us a check or even cash inside those cards and letters. We'd love to see that. Trish and Rich Killian sent us a card a while back as well. Thank you very much, Trish. Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Now, Trish is saying she finally got connection here. They've been fighting with this for over 4 hours. CME, yes, CME, guys. This past weekend, I believe it was on a Sunday, we had several M5 class flares. We had several CME M class 5 flares. However, guess what happened yesterday? 3 X-class flares. 3 X-class flares. X-class flares, solar flares, are the top size of the solar flares. Very dangerous solar radiation. The X-ray radiation arrived within hours. The plasma radiation from those solar flares that went off yesterday will hit the Earth within the next 48 to 72 hours. By Friday or Saturday at the very latest, they're going to hit the Earth, which is going to cause radio disruption and also going to cause more and more earthquakes. More and more earthquakes. 3 X-class flares yesterday is going to cause massive disruption of high-frequency radio communication, both ham radio, police, fire, and paramedic radios. Be aware of that. It also causes disruption from you being able to connect with YouTube and also connect with your television and radio stations. It's going to cause all kinds of interference. You're going to hear crackling on the radio. You may hear crackling on your television, and you may see disruption of signal on your television as well, especially if you have cable or satellite communication feeding your television. Plan on it. It's going to happen. Okay? It's going to happen. Now, at the end of our programs, I like to talk about Jesus Christ, our Savior, because we have a lot of negative things going on in our world. I'd rather end this program on a positive note. Okay? Tonight I've gone into the book of Ephesians, the Epistle of Paul to the Ephesians, first chapter, 10th verse. That in the dispensation of the fullness of times, that's the times we're living in right now. Paul is talking about the times we're living in right now, the fullness of times. He might gather together in one all things in Christ. Christ gathering us all together. The 10 tribes coming from all 4 corners of the world. Everything being gathered together. Both which are in heaven and which are on earth, even in him. Then he goes over to verse 15. Wherefore I have heard your faith in the Lord Jesus, and love unto all the saints. Here he says, cease not to give thanks. Cease not to give thanks for you, making mention of you in my prayers, that the God of our Lord Jesus Christ, who he's talking about our Father in heaven, that the God of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of glory, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and of revelation in the knowledge of him. Meaning we are going to get more revelation from God about Jesus Christ and his mission here on this earth. The eyes of your understanding are being enlightened, that ye may know that what is the hope of his calling, and what the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints, and what is the exceeding greatness of his power to us, Lord, who believe, according to the working of his mighty power. We're going to be given revelation. If we are worthy, we will be given revelation from God as to how we might help improve Jesus Christ's mission here on this earth. You and I are his servants. You and I are servants of Jesus Christ. It's our calling. It's our mission to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the world. That's what Paul is talking about here. That's what Paul is talking about here. We're going to receive revelation because we're to go forth and preach, teach, and expound the gospel of Jesus Christ to all nations around the world. That's our calling. Brothers and sisters, I have a strong testimony of our Savior, Jesus Christ. He lives. He and God the Father hear our prayers and answer prayers. I know that. I know that because I felt it in my life. I've seen it happen in my lifetime. I know he is hearing and answering your prayers as well. God bless our buddy Sage Pup. Sage Pup is here in the chat as well tonight. Thank you for being here, brother. Sage Pup and I go back a long way as well. He's a great man. He's a very great man. He works hard. He works hard. We love you guys. We love each and every one of you. I appreciate each of you being here with us. May God bless you. May God bless you that you might have his spirit to be with you each and every day. Pray. Pray that you might get revelation. Pray that you might have your blessings answered, your prayers answered. Kathy Payena is having extreme pain. She's having to call an ambulance. We can pray for Kathy Payena as well. God bless you, Kathy. God bless you. May you be healed. May you be healed. We love it. We love each and every one of you. Demon Catman is giving us the information here. We come on the air every day between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time to give you more and more information about what's going on around us. We talk about disasters. We talk about earthquakes. We talk about hurricanes. We talk about all kinds of man-made disasters and earthquakes that are happening. Yes, I said man-made earthquakes as well. Yes, we've had those. May God bless you. God bless all of our moderators. We want to thank them for being here. God bless you. Have a great day. Have a great night. If anything else happens today, we'll be back on the air and tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available, just like we did last night after the crash. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Take care, everyone. I love you very much. See you soon. God bless.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating And thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright.